You and me. I don't know what you're singing, but
You've never seen Sweet Life of On Deck?
The Sweet Life of On Deck. I'm familiar with the concept. I haven't really watched much.
The Sweet Life of Zach and Cody.
Okay.
Then had The Sweet Life on Deck. And that's what I was singing is, here I am in your life. I couldn't give you season recaps or anything like that, but I've definitely seen the show.
Season 3, episode 5.
Ashley Tisdale worked at the hotel, I think.
Okay.
And
yeah, they lived in a hotel, right?
Yeah, and then, what's the other? Brenda Song was the heiress of the hotel.
Why did they live in a hotel?
I don't know. I don't remember that part.
That feels central. They have parents?
Mm-hmm.
Where are their parents at?
Their mom lives with them in the hotel.
Okay.
I think it's kind of like Eloise.
I haven't seen it.
Okay. I don't know how to help you. I guess in New York, people live in hotels.
Oh, I guess that's true. Like that.
Yeah, they live in a
is
city.
true.
It's not like they're in Arkansas living in a hotel. Like
They're just at
and
the Best
heiress,
Western.
Yeah, the heiress of Best Westerns living at the Best Western in Podunk, Arkansas.
Yeah, I guess I didn't think about them being in New York, presumably.
I don't know.
They don't say.
I'm
They might
sure
say.
they do. I don't remember. The things I remember from the show are the theme song and the Prindle.
It's Cincinnati.
You worked at an extended stay hotel where people lived in it, where we live in Arkansas.
Yeah, okay. I guess that's true. We never had anybody that stayed there years and years and years.
Anybody listening that's a true Sweet Life fan
is losing their mind.
Absolutely, because I have no idea what I'm talking about.
Sweet, Zach, Cody.
It's not funny. You are funny. I shouldn't say you're not funny. I actually listened back on the last episode because I edited it. And I multiple times told you you're not funny. And I was like, that's so not true, Joe. You've got to stop saying that because it sounds like you really think it.
Well, I think during the episode you think it.
Well, just sometimes things that don't need to be bits become bits, and then we completely lose the conversation because we're looking for the next bit rather than conversing.
Yeah, that's fair. I have to everything inside me has to fight doing more bits.
Why is that?
I think it's just a real self-destructive streak I have.
Okay, tell me more.
You know the tale of Icarus and how you shouldn't fly into the sun?
No.
Oh, okay. Well,
you're not familiar with Sweet Life. I'm not familiar with Icarus.
Roughly the same historical relevance and literary value.
One of us sounds a lot smarter than the other, though, I will say.
And it's not the one who, doesn't remember Icarus.
Yeah.
That's the one that sounds
stupid. You can say it. It's me.
I forgot which way we were talking and which way I said it, and so I was trying to make myself sound dumber, but
you can't do it. You're too smart to sound dumb.
I say that all the time. Anyway, do you want a refresher on Icarus?
Sure. If you're going to use the reference, definitely.
He had the wings made out of wax, and he flew too close to the sun, and his wings melted, and he died.
I've never heard this story.
What? I thought you were joking.
No, I've never heard it.
No, I think it's Daedalus and Icarus.
Is it Greek mythology?
Yeah, it's Greek mythology.
Oh, yeah. I actually learned that. So this week I went to see Ayanna Gray speak at the Bentonville Public Library for her book, I, Medusa, which is obviously about Medusa.
Were you familiar with Medusa prior?
Yes, I'm familiar with Medusa and her story somewhat. But as everybody was talking, there were a lot of people at this event who are really into Greek Roman mythology. And I realized that I missed that chapter.
Yeah.
Flew too close to the sun, wings melted, it killed him.
Yeah.
And that's
had
you
wings.
with bits?
Yeah.
You're flying too close to the sun and it's melting your wings?
Yeah, it's just, it's a story of hubris and thinking that when you're told not to fly too close to the sun, you're like, but I bet I can fly a little bit closer. And then you just do that until your wings melt and then you crash.
I couldn't relate to that story less.
No. It makes sense that you wouldn't. You'd be like, well, I was told these wings only work up to this height. I should stop there.
I tried about half of that. I didn't want to test the limit.
Like, I believe in building in my own safety factor. Whereas I'm like, there's probably a safety factor built in, right? We'll see how strong it is.
Yeah.
But with bits. But
anyway, Matt's been sick this week. Terribly ill.
Yeah, I got a fever for the first time in years, and I forgot how much they suck. I didn't even really realize what was happening to me until I was like, wait a minute. Is that why you're cold and you feel like you might pass out and you're shaking? Is that what a fever is? And it is. It's true.
It was what a fever was, yeah. So Matt's been in recovery for the last 2 to 3 days.
Yeah.
Doing lots of sleeping, doing lots of resting.
Trying, yeah. My drink of the day is water. Been drinking a lot of water, trying to stay hydrated.
You know I'm normally a water girl, but I have a Diet DP today.
Look
in
at
a
us.
bottle. I actually, something I despise is a bottle. I really don't enjoy drinking
The plastics.
I want it to be either in a styrofoam cup, which doesn't feel like that's better than the plastics.
Yeah.
Or I want it to be in
You mean this like
a can.
I'm understanding styrofoam cup now from like a restaurant, Sonic or somewhere. Although, do they have? Yeah, they still do. Okay. There's a period of time where they stopped doing styrofoam cups, right?
Yeah, in 2020.
Yeah, it was years and years ago, and they've gone back. How my brain works is sometimes things change. And my brain makes a note and goes, well, that changed. Be on the lookout for that ever again. And then if I don't take a good note of it going back, my brain's just like, yeah, they stopped doing styrofoam cups years ago.
Yeah.
Did I see a styrofoam cup from Sonic from you this weekend? Yup.
Yeah.
But did I take a note of it? No.
I'd like you to know that it went back to styrofoam during my first pregnancy.
That makes sense.
How many Sonic cups do you think you've seen since they changed back, starting with my first pregnancy?
I feel like 400 is a really good over-under. Yeah.
You're thinking 2021, 2022, 2023, 2024, 2025. 5 years that I drink less than 100 Sonic drinks a year.
Am I crazy for saying that feels right? I just probably don't fully grasp your Sonic consumption, but
I mean, I definitely think I have a problem. I'm not.
it's like every 3 days.
Did you see the video of the woman who's trying to quit Diet Coke?
No.
There is this woman online going viral right now. She's trying to quit her Diet Coke addiction. She lives near a Casey's, and she goes to the Casey's 12 times a day. They were the big ones, like the big gulp ones too. And she gets a new cup every single time she goes. So she like pulled out and showed in her kitchen a stack of empty cups. And it's like 30 cups all stacked on each other. Is that not crazy?
Well, we should just call this the chronically online section.
I have been thinking about it nonstop since seeing it.
The $611 a month. Yes, that's way too much. That's the least worrying part about this. If your only concern was the money, I think you could cut that number in half easily. For sure they have refillable cup options, right?
I have no idea. I'm sure somewhere
It's got to
does.
be less than $18 a day. I think it's $600 a month. You are going to be money ahead buying your own soda machine and syrups. Got to think that's better value. The concerning part is definitely 44 ounces 8 times a day.
Well, and I think the concerning part is that's a caffeinated beverage.
Yeah.
Can you think about how much caffeine? I'm assuming in a 44-ounce cup that it is not it's not a full 44 ounces because there's ice. So let's say that it's 24 ounces for easy math. You want me to go higher? I think that's it. Like it's a safe estimate. Yeah. So 24, that's 2 12-ounce cans. How much caffeine's in a 12-ounce can of Diet Coke?
I just ballparked it at 200 ounces. So that's roughly a gallon and a half. That's saying 766 milligrams of caffeine is a lot, but not the most worrying part.
But on the conservative side, that means she's getting roughly 800 milligrams of caffeine a day.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
That's a good chunk of caffeine. Now,
That's
I'm
way
in a people in glass houses shouldn't throw stones situations.
That is a double the daily recommended amount.
Like daily maximum?
Yes.
Okay. I was like, I don't think it's recommended. I don't think you're ever like,
okay, sorry.
400 milligrams is recommended by your doctor. But
how much do you think you have? Now you're scaring me. Like I know that
you 400 to 600 game.
I know that you've had days that you have more.
Building the studio, I was in the 800 to 1,000 milligrams a day.
That scares me.
Well,
bad.
I was burning it. My body was.
That's
it's
not
fuel. Caffeine is fuel.
That's not.
Everybody knows that. As a degreed chemical engineer, I think there's science in there.
I really would like you to go caffeine free.
I would like to also. I'm in very reduced caffeine mode these last few days because let me tell you, what did not feel like a good idea is having a fever and then being like, what if we throw some caffeine in the mix? Let's get a little dehydrated up in here.
Yeah.
So I've consumed just enough to not get a crippling headache on top of the fever. Good Lord. Like I said, everything inside of me now wants to sit down and do the math on like how much does it cost to have your own fountain machine.
She's like
What's
3 or
the
4
cost?
weeks soda free now though.
That's great. And like
she's been documenting the whole process. And that's awesome. I hope I'm not coming across like I'm making fun or belittling her at all. I think it's really cool that she shared it and that she's been really transparent about the journey. But it really truly just baffled me. It was so shocking. Just sheer quantity. She said in the video that her husband brings her 4 of those a day. The comment section was like, does your husband hate you? like that he hasn't
that's valid.
Pointed out that this is like a massive problem. Like if I've seen Matt has had an energy drink and he's like, will you go grab me another energy drink? I will not participate. No.
I will not condone this behavior.
Yeah, absolutely not.
I feel like if I asked, you might. But I don't know that I would ask. I know your feelings on the issue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really don't want you to die young because your heart gives out from caffeine intake and just sugar overload.
You want me to die young of natural causes?
No, I don't want you to die young at all. I just feel like you're really trying to rev the die young engine with the caffeine.
That's the whole Icarus situation, you know? I saw a video that I did not send to you because you would not think it was funny. People talk about training in zone 2, like working out, and that's like a heart rate range.
Mm-hmm.
How much do I need to explain to you?
It's fine. I can. That's good.
That's fine. Anyway.
Yeah. I don't know, but it's fine.
He was talking about how he was biohacking himself by consuming so much caffeine that his resting heart rate was in zone 2. And he's like, your body doesn't know the difference. Like, I just biohacked myself into cardio. I think it kind of works, although it does require you to like come down. I don't think it was serious, but
your For You page is truly eclectic.
That was Reels. My Reels page is wild.
I feel like the Reels algorithm has really improved. Hot take.
Reels, I spend almost no time on Reels, but when I do, it feeds me a lot of running content. I don't run.
It knows that you're supposed to be training for that high rock.
I won't lie. It does send me high rocks content as well. TikTok is definitely like Matt is for the girls. Reels is like Matt's a man. Yeah. Reels has a very different tilt for me.
And tell me this, which one do you prefer to scroll?
TikTok for sure.
Yeah, that's what I thought because it's always better for the girls.
Reels definitely serves me some content. I'm like, whoa, no, thank you. This is, you're too serious about this. No, there's a lot of, it's a lot of health and wellness on Reels.
Speaking of a man's man.
It's a man's world.
Winter Olympics. Something to know about me is I am a massive Olympic stan. I love the Olympics. I count down to the Olympics. It is my favorite few weeks of the year, every year that is an Olympic year. I desperately am hoping to go to LA in 2028 to attend the Olympics. I heart Olympics.
Let's blow this podcast up so they send us to the Olympics.
That would be
can we podcast?
So cool.
You think there's going to be a big podcasting push for the Olympics?
No.
Might be our new reason to push for social media relevance.
I got to stop being so negative and self-deprecating. I feel like that is a new behavior of mine in the last, I guess not since we've done the podcast, but that's a new behavior for me in my late 20s, early 30s. Where did that come from? Why do I do that suddenly?
You hang out with me too much.
Do you really think that that's it?
Yeah. I'm allergic to tooting my own horn. So it's, which is not the way to be when you do social media. You have to believe in yourself. You have to speak to the people.
It's really interesting to hear that you don't believe in yourself because the reason you're frustrated with yourself all the time is because you think you're going to be the best to have ever done everything that you ever do. And then when you're not.
I don't totally agree with that statement.
Okay, tell me more.
I just don't like being not the best at everything that I've ever done. I don't have to be the best. The best makes me sound like an insane person. I like to be proficient. I like to be better than I have any right to be. I don't have to be the best. I don't have to be the best in the world. I would like to be really good at anything that I do. And if I'm not, then what am I even doing? Why am I doing it? And that is a healthy mindset to have. That is who Reels thinks I am. And it's kind of right sometimes.
Why don't you give me your thoughts on the Olympics?
On the Olympics, I like the Olympics. What really made me laugh is we had friends come over the other day and they were like, "Are you like really into the Olympics?" And I was like, "Well," and then I realized we are really into the Olympics.
Why did they ask that?
Well, because apparently they're not that into the Olympics. It's just like a background thing to them.
Oh.
Whereas I realized it's been a couple years since the Olympics, but I forgot that
You forgot you married the like an Olympic
I enjoy them,
watcher.
And you are down for the
I'm
Olympics.
seated.
Like you get kind of annoyed with the kids when they're like, "Can we stop watching the Olympics?"
It's the Olympics.
No.
It's only every 2 years.
Yeah. They're like, "Mom, we don't want to watch,
They were into curling. Okay?
moguls." They were into curling. You hate you.
I don't like curling. It's the only Winter Olympics event that I don't like, and they loved it. I was like, why does my family hate me?
They are my kids. I like curling.
I know you do, and that's great. I'm happy to sit and watch it. Like, I won't complain. It's just,
No, they liked curling. That's so good.
it's the one event that if I'm by myself, I won't turn on and watch curling by myself. I will happily watch it with a crowd. What?
Oh, this just made my day. This made my day because we've talked multiple times. I'm like, "Ooh, curling's on," and she's like, "Yeah, what about moguls? I don't care about skiing, but I really don't care about like curling." You didn't say you didn't care about skiing. Just like
the
I
whole.
couldn't think of like a.
I'm
one
over
that you're
here
not.
talking about how much I love the Olympics, and then when Matt talks about how I talk about the Olympics, it's like,
That sucks. That
I actually
sucks.
really hate all the events that are on, but I guess.
But I love the country.
Yeah, like what?
I don't support the sports, but I just love America so much and what's happening in it. Rock, flag, and eagle. No, you didn't say anything, but just like you avoid. I see curling. I'm like, "Ooh, curling," and you're like, "Ooh, any of the other sports that are on right now." Biathlon. I love biathlon.
No,
Actually, biathlon's
the last
sick.
few times it's been half pipe men's snowboard, and you're like, ooh, curling.
That's not true. That's not true.
That's literally what happened last night. Just as a note,
It wasn't half pipe men's. I think it was like
half pipe women's.
And I don't watch women's sports. You know that. When I married you, I said I will not watch women's sports. It's not real. God, I'm gonna get clipped in just the worst way one day. One day somebody's gonna supercut my sarcastic takes and be like, "Garbage human, Matt Overby."
People were upset with your Gulf of America statement. People
landed-
really defended you, but there were a couple people who were like, I don't think this is funny. I think it's really of poor taste. And people were like, he's being
"Well, guess what?
sarcastic.
That's his whole humor. It's kind of in poor taste. That's his thing."
Yeah. Okay, things that happened in the Olympics this week that I want to talk about. First, Brazil won their first Winter Olympic gold medal,
Well, that's pretty sick.
and I cried.
What'd they do it in?
I don't remember. It was skiing. It was one of the
Oh, it was like giant slalom or something, right?
Like, I don't. My problem is with all the ski events, I'm like, they have skis on their feet.
Yeah. You're like fast ski, jumping ski, not ski jump, ski tricks,
Walk
fast
ski, jump ski.
Yeah. Ski race, ski fly, ski tricks.
Yeah.
Those are the ski events.
Yeah. They have big things on their feet. I've never been skiing.
Yeah, that's true.
I've never done a winter sport ever. So there's also that.
You've sledded. That's kind of like,
I've sledded.
I like when they call it the sliding sports
Yeah.
with like bobsled and skeleton. Luge.
Yeah, I just don't feel like it's the same as sledding, though. Nothing about it.
It is and it
They're getting
isn't.
up to about 82 miles
Yeah,
an
no.
hour.
Yeah, it's like if you went sledding, I don't know, on
To
a roller
die.
coaster. Yeah.
Okay, so that was my first thing that I wrote down. Second, Chloe Kim snowboarding. She got silver in the half pipe, which she had gotten a gold medal in at the last two Olympics. I think she's 25, so that makes sense. But the girl that beat her is the girl that she has trained
Oh,
or like mentored. Maybe
she
not
also from the
trained.
U.S.
No, Japan. Chloe Kim was like so happy for her, and people really wanted it to be
People hate that.
like, yeah,
People hate when our athletes are good losers and support other people, even if they're from other countries.
yeah.
Americans are like, that sucks.
In the pairs ice dancing, they are talking about appealing the scores because apparently there was some real drama there. The French scorer judge scored way lower than the other judges, and it ended up moving them to silver instead of gold, even though they had like a perfect and clean performance and everybody else scored them really high.
The U.S.?
Yeah.
Oh.
The
gotcha.
U.S. ice dancing.
Okay.
That was a lot of drama.
Interesting.
Which I don't really get into the drama as much as I do the stories. Like there is the men's ice skater that's competing right now, or is now done competing, but that both his parents were in the plane crash in DC, and they had trained him since he was a little boy. And so he didn't score high enough to be in finals or medal, I don't think. I know he didn't medal. I don't even think he went on to finals, but it was cool. They like aired his entire story and talked about it.
You
and
love
all
an
this
inspirational
stuff.
story.
I love.
That's the spirit of the Olympics. Whenever they're really hamming up the spirit of the Olympics on TV, and they're like, "This is the spirit of the Olympics. This athlete came from this situation that's terrible and has rose to the." That's all really cool. Joe is bawling. Understand that the person they are speaking to is Joe. Joe
I love it.
Overcome with emotion every single time.
There's nothing better.
It's made me appreciate it much more for sure. But you are 100% the target demographic for emotional Olympic stories.
I love it. And it doesn't have to be a hardship or emotional that way. I just love to see how hard people have worked, because if you are an athlete on that level, no matter what privilege or resources you come from, you've worked your ass off. And hearing about the time that they've put in and the effort and the strategy and just how passionate they are about what they're doing, gets me going. The last thing is I was telling Matt all about the quad god leading up to the ice skating, everything, because
it's not
people
about his
just
legs,
could
right?
not stop talking about him. Ilya Malinin.
Nailed it.
Ilya Malinin he's 21. It's his first Olympics, I think. And he ended up winning the U.S. their gold medal in team. He was the last one to go, scored high enough for the U.S. to get there. And so I was really excited to watch him in the men's competition. And I didn't even end up watching it because the news broke. Obviously, we're getting the primetime feature later, which I like to watch the primetime rather than the live events. Sometimes, not always, but because it cuts everything up and it makes it shorter, and they have interviews with the athletes and you get more of the stories in the prime time.
I like when they have a live prime time, like that's always good. But if it's not live prime time, then you get some sort of digested version of it.
Yeah. He, in the free skate performance, had to score 180 something. I didn't write that part down to win. And his highest score of all time is 238.24. So people thought that he had the gold medal completely in the bag, because scoring 183 was, 55 points lower than his highest score ever. And the lowest score he had ever scored before was 163.63 in the competition. He's never scored below that. He ended up, I didn't write it down, but he ended up scoring 150, low 150s. He fell a bunch of times in the free skate performance, and it was... I
didn't know anything about our skating coming in. Sometimes we catch more pre-Olympic coverage, like who's to look out for. When they first started talking about him, to say he's a favorite for the gold is an understatement. And then they talked about how he does a bunch of stuff that basically nobody's ever done and people didn't think could be done. I was like, oh, okay, got it. And so, that was a wild. That's I'm sure that's up there with Simone Biles, and although hers was a different.
She chose to.
Yeah, hers was more of a mental health situation, but also being such a huge favorite to dominate, and then when you don't dominate, people are like, "Oh, well, you suck now."
Right. So I feel. He's young too. But it was just really shocking, and he didn't recover well from falling and just kept falling through his performance.
It's wild to think that you have that much more in your bag to be able to still put up those numbers if you'd have fallen maybe just once or twice.
Right. He could have still won, I think, with falling once.
Yeah, I'm sure. If that's how high he scored with 3 falls.
Right.
That's nuts.
It was very shocking. That's my Olympic recap. What's your favorite Olympic sport to watch?
My favorite Winter Olympic?
Yeah, Winter Olympics.
Sport. Oh, casually, I like curling, but it's probably not my favorite Winter Olympic sport to watch. It kind of depends. Some of them are fun to watch just from like this is novel and I like to see the sport because you just don't see it that often. And some of it, like if I'm talking about more of like a spectator experience, I think like skating. Yeah, it's hard to pick. There's a lot there's also like hockey. Hockey's a sport that I really like. Love to watch it.
Hockey outside of.
Yeah, like I enjoy watching hocky outside of the Olympics.
Day to day.
Yeah.
We're St. Louis Blues fans, if you were wondering.
Yeah, that has its ups and downs. Ups and downs for sure. But
downs.
What do you
more
like?
than ups
Winter,
right now? I like snowboarding.
Snowboarding. Okay. What kind?
I really like watching the half pipe. I really like watching the men's and women's slope style.
Okay.
Those are probably my favorite.
Those
to
are good.
watch.
Yeah. The problem with those for me is I don't always know the difficulty, like difference in the tricks. And so I can watch somebody do it and I'm like, good, bad.
That's how I
don't
feel
know.
about ice skating.
Sometimes
too.
they do something they're like, that's literally never been done before. I actually could not tell the difference between, sometimes they do something so spectacular. They're like, oh, that does look crazy. And then sometimes you're like, that looks crazy, but everything kind of looks crazy. We were talking about this yesterday. You were like, I can't believe they make it look so easy.
Yeah.
And I misinterpreted that. And I was like,
I didn't. I said it looks easy.
And I interpreted it as I was like, I've literally never looked at that and thought, oh, that looks easy. Or I could do that. Every time I see people compete in those, I think, I have no idea. I don't think I could ever land anything they've ever done. I think I could go yeet myself into the air. I think I could spin and do flips. I just think there's no chance I could ever spot the ground and land on it with my feet. I think I would just crash into the ground and die.
I was never good at flipping from the time I was really little because I really liked gymnastics, but I won't throw myself backwards. I could do a front tuck and I could do a front handspring, which are way harder, I guess, than a back handspring and a back tuck.
Yeah.
Because of the way, but I could never get past the throwing myself
when you
backwards.
throw your knees, it goes with the way.
Right.
Yeah.
And so I got to the point that I could do the front tuck, I could do the front handspring, I could do a back walkover.
Okay.
But I couldn't even do a back handspring.
Never tried it.
Throw myself backwards. Still can't. That's why at the lake and stuff, I do a front
2026 resolution. Joe does it.
I'm not learning to do a backflip. I think I'm too old for that. I think I've clocked
Mother
out.
of 3.
I'm so tall. Maybe that doesn't make a difference. That would be kind of a fun resolution to learn to do a back tuck.
Okay. She gets into tumbling at 32, 33.
I mean, they say it's not hard on your joints at all.
No. Long careers, healthy bodies.
Okay.
No injuries.
Speaking of, what sport would you want if you could pick a sport for our kids' Winter Olympics?
Ooh, okay. So there's a couple angles here I'm thinking about. One is like, what's a better spectator sport? I'm also thinking, like, let's say it's hockey. They can have a career outside of the Olympics because there's some sports you can do outside the Olympics and have as a professional career. There's some sports like curling where they're like, he's a CPA and then also competes in this league for curling. And like, you have to do it as a side hustle? I don't think it's a hustle at all. I think it's for the love of the sport.
Yeah, for the love of the game.
Yeah, I think, but a hustle, I think it costs you tons of money, or maybe you have sponsorships, but realistically, you're doing it for the love of the sport, which is really cool. And it's awesome that people do that and have either the means or the support to do that. I think some of the snowboarding stuff could be cool. I feel like if they were a professional snowboarder, like the events you're talking about, half pipe or slope style, because there is like a circuit in terms of X Games stuff. You can make money professionally that way, sponsorships that way. It's something that you can do as like your family can go snowboarding. Now you're not going to go hit the half pipe with your kid necessarily, unless you're also really good at it, but you can support them and also do that thing. I'm sure I'm not taking a full picture of what that looks like.
You're giving this way more thought than I did.
Yeah. I'm not sure I want it to be one where it's like bobsled.
No.
And you're like, well, I guess we're going to have to move to like one of the few places that has a bobsled track or however that works. I don't know what that training regimen.
My answer was hockey.
Okay. Yeah.
Which
Team
I don't,
sport.
yeah. And I don't
good spectator
necessarily love I imagine that there's a lot of injury the same way as football from getting slammed into boards and things like that.
Yep.
Maybe
I
not
think so.
exactly the same, but that worries me as a mom because I don't want them to have.
Hockey's big on playing while injured.
Yeah.
That's a real staple in this sport.
Yeah. I don't love that part, but I do think that has the most aspects that I'm looking for out of sports if my children want to play. Team sport, working together, good athletics, flexibility is really important in hockey and a lot of other things. And I think it's something that you can take the skills from and continue with and enjoy. So I think that's probably up there for me.
No, that's fair. I think we're on kind of the same wave though. Like you want something with a little bit. That's probably got the best like spectator value.
Right. Like you can do collegiate hockey, there are options.
Yeah.
Maybe ice skating. Ice skating scares
ice skating
me.
Would be a beating.
Yeah. It kind of combines all of the things that I think are terrible about competitive dance.
Yeah.
And then puts it in a higher tax bracket.
Yeah, I think it's just a ton of expense and a ton of training.
Which I think competitive dancing is also very expensive.
I think a lot of the Winter Olympics are super expensive. Just like you either need to be
it takes a lot of equipment.
It's equipment heavy. You need facilities. Tons of them need facilities. And then that time and people who know how to train and all that stuff is all really expensive outside of cost and just thinking of like, I have to go watch this or I have to help this person.
I definitely don't think we're the parents that are pushing our kids into any kind of sport.
No.
But if we were, that would make us what?
Bad dad, mean mom.
Do you have any thoughts for this week?
Oh, man. So many opportunities. I spent the weekend just being completely ill. That's never been a peak parenting moment for me, but
I don't feel like that's your fault, though.
No. My body failed me.
People don't talk about how hard it is to be sick when you become a parent.
It's not
great. Brutal. It really is brutal.
Because your kids don't care that you're sick. Let me tell you.
No.
It's
they still want to eat. They still want to,
every day
play. It's crazy.
Fun. They want to have fun and eat and do all of this just bullshit.
Yeah, they want clean clothes.
Which they can figure that out for themselves.
Yeah, come on, kids.
Dad does not have the time right now to deal with this stuff.
No.
But no. Yikes. You got anything good?
Yeah, I wrote down I had a big mom guilt moment because Valentine's Day hit and I had everything prepped for a little Valentine for the kids. And I had talked with you and I knew you had a little activity planned with them. And then I had the realization on the 12th that I didn't do Christmas holiday gifts for teachers at school. That when I had not done that, I was like, I have way too much on my plate with hosting everything. I'm going to do Valentine's for the teachers at school. And then it was February 12th. And I was like, oh, shoot. Time went by so quickly. And I think that's somewhere that I really struggle as a parent, juggling all of those little tasks. We got all the Valentines prepared, take to class with all the right names on them and the little gifts. And we did that whole shebang. And I was like, I did it. Great. We're good. And I had the gifts for at home done. And I was like, okay, good. Shebang. We're done. And then I'm also planning a birthday party because we have a birthday party right around Valentine's Day. And, I'm like, all right, I am nailing it. And it's like something always slips through the cracks.
Yeah, it's really easy to get, especially when you've really nailed a few things in a row, to get that sense of security and be like, wow, we're clicking on all cylinders. And then that last thing pops up and you're like,
how did I forget?
Yeah.
The night before I was running out to the store and I got gift cards and I had the kids make little Valentines and we put the gift cards into the Valentines. But
yeah, you pulled it together.
I pulled it together, but I did not like doing it in a rush. I really prefer to have my ducks in a row.
Yeah. You love to do a good personalized gift and that takes time.
Yeah. And I've not been the best time manager. I feel like, especially postpartum, I feel like I'm coming closer to the time where it does come back, but Postpartum's always really hard for me. It feels like the clock just isn't operating it normally.
Well, I think the big problem is between Christmas and Valentine's was January, and this January was a mess. I mean, think of the launch of this podcast, like how much went on that delayed that and made that difficult. And then on top of that, it's been a rough month to try and pull all the horses together and get them going in the same direction.
Yeah.
And so
I just don't always like giving myself that reason or excuse, because it feels like if I want to focus on what's hard, there's always things that are hard to focus on.
Totally.
And it felt a little that way for me in January, where I don't know that stuff was actually hard for my day-to-day and my experience. I want to focus more positively in what's going on. I think there's a balance. Like, I think it can lean into toxic, obviously. I don't want to minimize or discredit the difficult things, but I don't know. I'm trying to find the balance right now. There is no balance. I know that's not a real thing, but you know what I mean.
I think it's time for word of the week.
Okay. What was last week's? I really liked it and I already forgot.
Equanimous.
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 I liked that one. It's like you're equanimous.
Thanks.
Isn't that when you're like media trained? I know that's not what it means,
like
but that you like are very, you hold it together. See, I remembered the meaning.
Yeah, you did.
Equanimous.
You did.
Okay. What's this week's word?
Halcyon.
Okay.
Halcyon. Halcyon.
Halcyon.
Mm-hmm.
The spelling makes me uncomfortable, but I like the way it sounds.
Okay.
Halcyon. I think that should be the name in a fantasy book.
I'm sure it is.
Okay.
Yeah. It's got a very fantasy. I feel like people use it.
Okay. Tell me about the whimsy.
Denoting a period of time in the past that was idyllic, happy, or peaceful.
Halcyon.
It's kind of like the heyday.
So would it be in a sentence be like that time was halcyon?
The halcyon days of something.
The halcyon
It's like
days.
an adjective in that case. There is a noun, apparently, which is like a mythical bird or a special African kingfisher.
Okay.
Like in normal language.
The
usage.
halcyon days of summer. I don't think I'm going to be using that one that much.
Sure, yeah.
Tell me last
it's more
week's
of like
again.
Era, equanimous.
Equanimous. I want to use equanimous.
Okay.
Halcyon's easier for me to remember.
Yeah. You're going to sound hella smart when you drop equanimous. In somewhere.
I really struggle with words in my brain.
Okay.
Like they don't process or stay there. I really struggle with names.
Really?
Yeah. I work really hard at it. Like it's something that I put a lot of effort into.
That makes sense.
Remembering names, saying them out loud, repeating them back to people, etc. But I'm really bad at it.
I was going to say, because I think of you as someone who is really good with names.
I practiced really hard when I was photographing weddings, but I have never really gotten better at it. I have tricks and I work at it because I think it's really important.
Yeah.
But it's not a natural gift.
Well, you fooled me.
I think that we are starting to run a little low on time, so let's check email.
Let's get some emails in here. First one's first. Hello, I'm just wondering what the age gap is between your three kiddos. What did you guys plan for these gaps? Did you enjoy the gaps? We had our first baby in June, and we definitely want to add to our family. And I don't know how to decide, understanding that we can't plan, totally what a good gap would be. 2 under 2 seems daunting, but is it better to just get the dirty diapers over? Thanks.
Our kids are about 2 years apart in each.
Yeah, give or take.
Yeah, give or take. And I don't think there's a right answer to this question. I feel like I get asked this a lot, and I genuinely don't think there is a one size fit all or a better best option. I really like ours are close. I don't know that I would plan for 2 under 2, which we did plan for 2 under 2 because I had a lot of stress around having an only child that I had not yet unpacked, that I am now with 3 children unpacking a little bit in my own personal life. But I don't know, 2 under 2 has been cool, and they are like best buddies. They love to play together. They're so much fun. But I really don't think there's a right answer. My best friend has a 3.5 year age gap, and that's been really fun. And they're loving that. And my sisters and I are 6 and 9 years apart. We're kind of a bad example because we didn't ever live in the same household. But as adults, we are in the same seasons of life together because my oldest sister didn't have kids till a little bit later. And I didn't have kids young per se. Like her kids are older than ours, but they're semi-close. Like we're both in the child rearing years at the same time. I think it's really more about the family dynamic that you're going to foster and the relationships that you're going to foster than the actual age gap.
Yeah. Yeah. I think biggest thing is how prepared are you, like as a parent, to do the baby thing again. The diaper part, I feel like is kind of overstated.
I agree.
Because potty training means when they got to go, you got to find a bathroom now.
You don't want to be potty training with a newborn.
Yeah.
It will
Just
be
'cause
fine.
It's a lot to do. The potty training is hard.
Yeah.
Not because we had people tell us, you know, you don't want one out of diapers, and then they see a baby in diapers and they'll regress. That might be a thing. That wasn't the case for us. We should have potty trained earlier, honestly, with our first, because she was ready before. And then after, she's like, not that interested now. So go with your gut there, but don't make diapers and potty training your primary choice, I don't think.
Yeah. If you don't feel super ready, give yourself more time. Like I really do think that's.
Yeah. I don't think you'll
the
regret
move.
making yourself more ready.
Yeah, I agree.
I think you could regret making a decision based on some arbitrary number that makes sense to you at the time, and then you not being in the state that you feel like you need to be to make a big choice like that. I think is probably the best frame of reference. Let's get another email in at least.
Hi, Joe and Matt. I'm an almost 25-year-old woman. I'm looking for dating advice. I know that you two have been together for the last 15 years, but I need some unbiased advice from someone who isn't my friend or my mother. I feel like I'm going crazy. For some background, my last serious relationship was when I was still a teenager almost 8 years ago. Gained a lot of trauma from that relationship. He broke up with me by ghosting me twice, and when I finally asked him why he dumped me, his reasoning was that I started putting myself first instead of always focusing on his problems. I then went off to university and didn't really date, mostly because of COVID and everything being online for most of the time I was there. But I went on a few dates. Now I'm trying to date. I've been using the online dating apps for 1.5 years, and it's not going well. The first guy I started seeing regularly decided to test me by not texting me for 2 weeks after saying that he was going to be busy. I am partially at fault because I didn't reach out during that period, but at the time I was covering holidays at work and working 6 days a week. Then when I did reach out, he told me that he didn't feel a connection and thought that I felt the same because I didn't message him. For context, the date right before this test, I had told him to his face that I liked him and wanted to see where this went, and his response was, "I'm good with anything." Since then, nothing has really gone anywhere, and I've been on and off the apps. Until recently, I matched with this guy, and he seemed to really hit it off. We were flirty, and talking with him was easy. I wanted to get to know him before committing to a date, and we were snowed in, so a date hasn't happened yet. Then he's since ghosted me. Just stopped responding, and I reached out and didn't get a response. I'm trying to not let it bother me, but it really sucks. I don't know what happened or where everything went wrong. I try to convince myself that it's better that it happened now instead of later, but getting rejections over and over again really does a number on my self-esteem. Any advice? Anything's appreciated at this point.
First 25-year-old men are largely garbage. I was a 25-year-old man, kind of garbage a fair amount of the time. Listening to stories of women trying to have real relationships with men between the ages of like 20 and 25 and much older too. There's garbage men all the way up, but especially this age range, I feel like is brutal. And I remember being a brutal to deal with 22-year-old, 23-year-old. And it's not that you're all bad. It's just the brain function is not all there. And science backs that up. And it's just infuriating to look back on.
I think the dating apps are really brutal too. I think I would like to start by telling you that I don't think you're alone in this experience. I do not think that it's personal. Obviously, I don't know what you're saying or what you're doing or what. So like, okay, maybe you're doing something just out of left field. I don't know. But I have plenty of single friends who are on the dating apps. And let me tell you, more often than not, the stories I hear are bananas and crazy and bad. I don't think it says a lot about your value as a person. I really think if you're looking to date and you're looking to meet somebody, the best thing to do is go out and really lean into living your life. It's not seeking somebody out, but instead seeking out the life that you want to be living. There's that marathon example that I always talk about. Somebody told me this when I was just out of college. I don't remember who. It was a family friend was talking to me about your 20s and said we get really busy looking around at the people around us in life. So it's kind of like a marathon. And if you shoot out the gate and run as fast as you can to try and keep up with a group that's going really quick, you're going to end up exhausted and then falling back. And if you don't run at the pace that you're capable of, you're going to end up back with a group that's maybe going slower. And yeah, you're going to be surrounded with people, but they're not people who are actually going your speed. So you don't feel like you're living up to your full potential. But if you focus on yourself and you start running the marathon at the speed that feels right to you and comfortable to your body, you'll get a certain amount into that marathon and look around you and realize you're surrounded by people who are also running at your same pace. And I think that analogy is really important in building relationships, building a village, building anything when it comes to life, because I think we get so busy looking around us, feeling like we're alone, that we lose out seeking affirmation and approval from the person that's most important, and that is ourselves. So you need to be finding a life that feels good to you, pursuing the things that feel good to you. And in my experience with my friends that have really poured themselves into that are wanting a relationship, it is within pursuing those things that suddenly they meet somebody and it works out. I'm not saying that apps can't work and that you don't meet, like, I know plenty of people who have met people on apps.
Yes. Yeah.
But more times than not, I feel like the people they meet that it works really well with are people that they have mutual friends with. They saw them on the app. That's how they found out they were single. That's how they ended up talking. But they are already connected and know each other through one way or another.
Yeah. The apps, thank God I don't have to be on the apps. The teeny tiny amount I was on apps when it was not a good platform for me, but it's not you. Don't compromise your own worth and your own values, thinking that it's something wrong with you. It's not. And having to compromise yourself just to have a shittier option of partner is not a good path. I think to lean on what Joe's saying, focus on your life, fulfilling your life outside of the apps, and making sure your life is one that you're enjoying living with or without a partner. And that kind of confidence and that kind of self-determination, one, is attractive to people, and two, means that you don't have to rely on these shitty partner options that are testing you with bananas asinine tests because they're 25.
Yeah, the moment somebody tests me, I'm out.
25-year-old idiots. Like, you are better off being alone than being with some of these people. It's just a fact. And hopefully one day they realize it too. But good God, I'm so sorry on behalf of men. There were things at 23, 24, 25 that you're just not considerate. And you just don't, like, it's, for some reason, men do not look outside of themselves. And looking back, it's like, what on earth did you think that was going to do? Like, it's just crazy.
Do you think that's age or cultural?
Both. Something about the apps and that format and today's culture and how we've infantilized men to some degree all coincides and builds up these insane ideas. I don't know. It's a whole culture issue with men right now in general. And it's not, you can't put it on one thing or the other, but I'm really sorry. I'm sorry that that's your experience, and it's not you, it's us.
It's Matt.
I guess at one point in time it probably was.
Hopefully I don't think so.
But, yeah, don't compromise yourself for these losers.
And don't allow it to tap on anything to do with your self-worth, because you're awesome.
They're two totally separate things. Like,
100%.
If you want to work on yourself or you have feelings of your own accord or things that you want to work on, fine. Don't let it be from these idiots. Like, they do not have informed opinions that are worth taking into consideration. No.
Kind of harsh opinions, but I don't necessarily disagree with you.
I don't know. The small sample size that I listened to sucked. So, I don't know.
Well, on that note, send us more emails. I think that we have a few more that we'll get to next week, but we would love voicemails. We love your emails. And thanks for all the support on the podcast. If you could rate, review, follow us, send to 16 of your closest friends. We
19.
love you.
19 of your closest friends.
Oh, okay. 19.
16 is not going to do it.
Oh, sorry.
We can't afford only 16.
On that note, bye.